My dearest Sagittarius, my wild-hearted archer, my magnificent adventurer, welcome back to Cosmic Treasure. Come a little closer, won't you? I want you to feel the truth of this moment with me. Before we journey into the sacred messages the universe has woven just for you, let's create a space of pure intention together. Take a slow, deep breath in, filling your lungs with the spirit of boundless possibility. And as you exhale, I want you to release any fences, any limitations, any restlessness that does not serve your highest good. Are you here with me now because your spirit has been waiting for this? Your soul has been yearning for this clarity, and if you have found your way to this reading at this exact moment in time, please know in the very core of your being that this is no accident. This is a divine appointment. Can you feel that subtle shift in the air, that electric hum of anticipation that is stirring deep within your soul? It is the feeling of destiny, my friend, and it is calling your name. Today, October 3rd, the veil between your conscious mind and the wisdom of the universe is exquisitely thin, especially for a truth seeker as expansive and connected as you. And before we pull back that veil together, I want to invite you to make a promise, a sacred commitment to your own evolution. If you haven't already, please take a moment to press that subscribe button and become a cherished member of our Cosmic Treasure family. It's a way of telling the universe that you are serious about receiving these essential cosmic updates designed just for you. And right now, to truly anchor this powerful energy, I want you to send a signal out into the cosmos. In the comments below, I want you to affirm the central theme of today's message for you. Just type, "I embrace the grand adventure." Let's declare this together, shall we? Let's create a wave of optimistic power that ripples out and reminds the universe that you are ready to aim your arrow toward your highest destiny. Now, let's talk about the magic that is unfolding for you. The universe is whispering a powerful truth to you today, my dear Sagittarius. It's a message about your incredible cosmic restlessness. You see, your soul is like a compass, and right now it is spinning wildly, sensing that a new true north is about to be revealed. Has it felt lately like your current reality is a size too small, a familiar routine, a conversation you've had 1,000 times, a limitation you once accepted? It can all feel amplified, almost unbearable. The initial message for you today is a gentle validation. Everything might feel like it's boxing you in, even opportunities that once felt exciting. You might be feeling a sense of inner friction, a wanderlust that is making it hard to find your peace right where you are. But I want to reframe this for you, because what you are feeling is not a weakness. It is the manifestation of your superpower working in overdrive. Your spiritual GPS is so powerful that it's alerting you that you've outgrown your current map. So the first piece of sacred guidance is to find a healthy, beautiful way to honor that call for expansion. It could be through learning something new, planning a future trip, exploring a different part of your town, or simply allowing your mind to dream without limits. You are being called not to ignore these feelings, but to honor them as divine intelligence, and then to consciously choose to channel that energy into planning your next great chapter. Today is a day to open your spiritual eyes and pay exquisite attention to the energies that you are allowing to define your path. The cards are revealing a powerful lesson for you about energetic freedom. It feels as though you could be dealing with someone in your circle. This could be a friend, a family member, or even a professional situation that has perhaps unconsciously been seeking to clip your wings and tame your wonderfully wild heart. This is not about pointing fingers or assigning blame, my love. This is a profound moment of reflection that the universe is gifting you. It's asking you to look at where you have allowed fear or obligation to shrink your world and your magnificent spirit. Is there someone or something in your life that seems to demand conformity over authenticity? It might feel like a constant stream of subtle criticisms about your unrealistic dreams, a need for you to be more practical, or an unspoken race. Expectation that you will always be the one to stay put. This can create a profound imbalance, a slow dimming of your inner fire that could lead to stagnation if left unchecked. You are the explorer of the zodiac Sagittarius, but you must remember that an archer cannot shoot their arrow from inside a cage. This is a divine call to reaffirm your truth, and to understand that setting boundaries around your freedom is not an act of selfishness. It is the ultimate act of self-honor and soul preservation. It is how you teach others that your spirit must have room to roam, and it is how you honor the sacred adventurer that is you. Now, let's bring this energy into the realm of your heart and your relationships. For many of you, there's a feeling that things may have become too predictable recently in a significant connection. It might feel like you've reached a comfortable but unexciting plateau where the conversation isn't sparking new ideas and the warmth feels a little routine. But I need you to hear this loud and clear. The cards are indicating with such beautiful certainty that this is not the end of the passion. Oh no, my beautiful soul, this is a sacred invitation. Think of it as a launching pad, a necessary period of reevaluation for you both to reignite your connection from a place of shared adventure and breathtaking honesty. A rebirth of excitement is on the horizon. This isn't about going back to how things were. It's about co-creating something entirely new built on the agreement that you will both support each other's growth and freedom. And for those of you who may have recently decided that a connection was too limiting, I want you to prepare your heart for a surprising conversation. What seemed like a definitive ending could actually be the universe clearing the path for a new negotiation, one filled with the promise of genuine change and a love that is more expansive, more honest, and more thrilling than ever before. Trust the process, for the universe is orchestrating a beautiful reunion of adventurous hearts. Turning our attention to your professional life, the universe is weaving a story of bold ideas and hidden appreciation. You might begin to notice today that someone in your work or professional environment has a special unspoken admiration for your vision. This isn't a quiet energy, it is one of intellectual excitement. The mystical star card has appeared here, suggesting that this secret admirer sees the genius in your unconventional ideas and is waiting for the perfect cosmic moment for a sign from the universe before they dare to champion your blank cause. My guidance for you here is to simply trust your powerful instincts. You will feel their energy, you will notice the way they listen intently to your big picture thinking. There is no need to seek validation. Allow your brilliance to be its own advertisement, for it will attract the right allies in the most organic way. At the same time, there is another powerful dynamic at play in your career. It feels as though you could find yourself under a certain amount of pressure from a traditionalist, someone who is constantly questioning your methods. This could be a superior, a cautious client, or even a collaborator who pushes you to conform in ways that feel intense. And while this situation may be causing you moments of frustration, it is so important for you to understand the deeper spiritual truth of what is happening. This person on a soul level recognizes your immense potential. They see the diamond that you are, and this pressure is the universe's way of forcing you to articulate why your vision works. They want to see how you can bridge the gap between your brilliant future and their practical present. So when you feel that pressure, I want you to take a deep breath and see it not as an obstacle, but as a debate. You are destined to win. Stay calm, remain centered in your truth, and keep moving forward with integrity and unstoppable optimism. Your effort is not going unnoticed, my love. It is being recorded in the great cosmic ledger, and it will be rewarded with the freedom and resources to bring your vision to life. This experience is designed to strengthen you, to forge you in the fires of gentle opposition, so that you emerge more articulate, more confident, and more aware of your own incredible power to lead. And this brings us to the key card, the central message that underpins your entire journey today. It is the breathtaking chariot. Can you see it? A victorious figure in a chariot taking the reins of two powerful opposing sphinxes and directing them forward with pure willpower. My dear Sagittarius, this is you. This card is a profound confirmation that you are in the midst of a sacred acceleration, taking control of your life and moving decisively toward a cherished goal. Even if right now you feel pulled in different directions, even if you feel the tension between your desire for freedom and your current responsibilities, please know that you have the power to harness these forces and steer them toward victory. This journey requires you to maintain unwavering faith in yourself and in your destination. What seems difficult or chaotic today will soon become the engine of your greatest success. You are leaving behind the stagnant waters of indecision and confusion, and you are being divinely empowered to charge toward the shores of your own triumphant future. This journey is a testament to your courage. You have made the brave choice to stop waiting for permission to release the need for everyone to understand and to take the reins of your own destiny. And the universe is your faithful chariot, ensuring your swift and successful passage. Let's turn our attention now to the beautiful, energetic tools the universe has gifted you for this journey. Your lucky numbers for today are 3 and 9. Now, these are not just random digits. They are vibrational keys, potent frequencies designed to unlock blessings for you. The number 3 is the number of your ruling planet, Jupiter. It resonates with creativity, expansion, optimism, and joy. It is a sign that the universe is supporting your growth and showering you with luck. And then we have 9, the number of completion, of wisdom, of humanitarianism, and of endings that pave the way for magnificent new beginnings. It affirms that you are completing a major cycle of learning and stepping into your role as a wise teacher. When you see these numbers today, take them as a wink from the cosmos, a reminder that you are walking a path of profound truth and expansion. Your lucky color for today is royal purple. Now I want you to feel the true essence of this color. It is not the color of melancholy, it is the color of royalty, wisdom, and spiritual insight. It is the color of the deep cosmos, where nebulae birth new worlds. It is the color of higher consciousness and connection to the divine. Royal purple is a color of profound spiritual protection, a shield that connects you to your highest wisdom and repels any energy that seeks to diminish your vision. It is expansive, inspiring, and deeply intuitive. Wearing something purple today, even a small accessory, will help you to anchor your energy to feel connected to your grand purpose and to tap into the deep philosophical wisdom that lies within you. It is a statement to the universe that you are not afraid to be magnificent, for you know that is your birthright. As we go deeper into the heart of your experience today, the universe is asking you to lead with your unfiltered truth as your master key. A frank, honest word spoken from a place of wisdom has the power to clear up any misunderstanding and to point everyone in the right direction. Your sharpness and your profound intuition are heightened today, allowing you to see the big picture, the grand pattern that others completely overlook. Your gift is to turn this incredible talent into a compass that guides you, not a weapon that you wield. Use your insight to navigate, to inspire, and to liberate. And speaking of liberation, you may find that figures from your past reappear either in your thoughts or in your physical reality. I want you to see this not as a step backward, but as a sacred test from the universe. It is a beautiful opportunity to confirm just how far you have come to see with your own eyes the incredible evolution of your philosophy. Accept this reunion as a chance for final closure, for deeper understanding, and for soul-level growth. It is not an anchor meant to drag you back into old beliefs. It is a milestone showing you the wise visionary you have become. Be grateful for the lessons, speak your truth with love, and then continue your journey forward. The universe also sends a gentle word of caution regarding new initiatives. There is a powerful creative energy bubbling within you, a desire to launch something new and brilliant into the world. But the archer's impulse to shoot the arrow before aiming can lead to wasted energy. The message here is to prefer a strategic, deliberate aim. Map out your vision, build a solid philosophical foundation, and nurture your dream with a clear plan before you announce its arrival. Resist the urge to spend on fleeting pleasures right now. That money, that energy is needed for the long-term adventures that are just about to begin. Trust in divine timing. Your moment of glorious success is coming, but for now the sacred work is in the patient, wise preparation. And if the day offers an opportunity for a social gathering, please, my dear Sagittarius, attend with an open heart. The shared laughter and expansive ideas of your tribe will boost your spirits in ways you cannot even imagine. It will remind you that you are part of a beautiful constellation of souls. Remember, asking for help with the details does not diminish your vision. It expands the boundaries of your heart and reminds you that you are loved, supported, and cheered on beyond measure. Now let's pull back the curtain and look at the breathtaking story the tarot has laid out for you. The energies are so potent, so clear, and so filled with promise. We see a powerful collection of cards that speak of new beginnings, divine wisdom, and profound fulfillment. First, we are greeted by the radiant Ace of Wands. This card crackles with the pure, unbridled energy of a new beginning. It is a cosmic green light, a spark of divine inspiration inviting you to seize a new passion, a new adventure, or a new creative project. This is the universe handing you a torch and telling you to run with it. It symbolizes the raw potential and excitement that is flowing into your life, urging you to say yes to what sets your soul on fire. Following this beautiful energy, we have the visionary Two of Wands. Oh, my dear Sagittarius, this is you standing on top of the world holding a globe in your hand. This is a card of bold, long-term planning. You've had the initial spark ace, and now you are mapping out your future, deciding where to direct your energy. It speaks of leaving your comfort zone, of planning for travel or expansion, and of making a conscious choice to pursue a bigger, more ambitious path. You are the architect of your destiny. Next, the wise and profound Hierophant steps forward. This card suggests that you are entering a phase of higher learning, of connecting with a teacher or mentor, or perhaps even stepping into that role yourself. This is about seeking deeper meaning, understanding the structures and traditions that can support your growth, and finding the why behind your what. This is your sacred opportunity to connect with ancient wisdom and to build your adventure on a foundation of profound truth. And then, in the heart of your reading, we find the magnificent Wheel of Fortune. This card represents the turning of karmic cycles, the beautiful dance of destiny, and the powerful changes that are aligning in your favor. The wheel is turning Sagittarius, and it is turning toward blessings and luck. The positive momentum is building, and all of your past explorations, your bold truths, and your heartfelt intentions are now bringing you the opportunities you so deeply deserve. The universe is asking you to stay adaptable, to remain optimistic, and to embrace this powerful turning point, knowing that luck, destiny, and expansion are all conspiring to bring you joy. Flowing from this, we find the blissful Ten of Cups. This card is the emotional jackpot. It represents complete and total happiness, harmony in your relationships, and a feeling of being perfectly aligned with your soul's purpose. This is the emotional fulfillment that comes from bravely following your truth. It can signify joyful family life, a deeply connected community, and the profound peace that comes from knowing you are exactly where you are meant to be, living a life that is authentic to you. And to anchor all of this beautiful energy into your physical reality, we have the charismatic and powerful King of Wands. This king represents mastery, vision, and the power to inspire others to follow your lead. He is bold, creative, and unafraid to take a risk. This card is a beautiful confirmation that you are stepping into your own power as a leader and a visionary. You are not just dreaming, you are doing. You are creating a life of passion and purpose, and you have the charisma and energy to make it all happen. So as we bring this powerful narrative together, we see a story of profound alignment. A new passion, Ace of Wands, inspires you to plan for a bigger future. Two of Wands. You seek and find the deeper wisdom to support your path. The Hierophant, which causes the wheels of destiny to turn in your favor. Wheel of Fortune, leading to ultimate emotional fulfillment. Ten of Cups, and establishing you as a masterful, visionary leader. King of Wands. What a magnificent journey you are on. Let's ground this into your physical well-being. Your health is the sacred vessel for your adventurous spirit, and today its stability depends on channeling your immense energy. Start your day with a high-protein breakfast to fuel your inner fire for the long haul. Your body may be craving movement today, so honor that call. Go for a run, try a new workout class, or just take a long, brisk walk. This will help to prevent restlessness and anxiety from building up and promote deep, restorative rest tonight. And if you feel a surge of frustration or impatience bubbling up, I want you to pause. Release that tension with powerful, deep breaths, or by closing your eyes and visualizing a wide-open landscape. Your body will thank you for giving your energy a positive outlet before it becomes physical tension. In the realm of your career, if you are working the potential for a breakthrough, is incredibly high as long as you can articulate your vision and choose your alliances with wisdom. Surround yourself with people who are not afraid of big ideas, who challenge you to think even bigger. Avoid at all costs those who indulge in cynicism or small-minded complaints. If you detect resistance to your ideas, do not engage in a battle of wills. Your best and most powerful response is your unshakable optimism and a well-presented plan that shows the results of your vision. When you receive criticism, use your intuition to distinguish between valid, practical concerns and fear-based resistance. Address the former with solutions and let the latter slide off you like water off a duck's back. If you are looking for a new job, your passion is your magnet today. Update your professional profile, but do so from the heart. Highlight your grandest visions, your unique philosophy, what truly makes you come alive. This is not the time to be a cookie-cutter applicant. Cultivate your networks with genuine curiosity. Ask big questions, share your insights on forums, or reach out to a leader in your field for a conversation. Let your brilliant mind shine through, and the universe will meet that brilliance with the perfect opportunity. Finally, let's speak about your family dynamics. The promise of fun and renewed connection is so strong today. The Ten of Cups speaks of harmony and joy. If there have been tensions or misunderstandings, the Wheel of Fortune indicates that a positive new cycle is beginning. Family relationships are healing, and you can be the catalyst for that. This is a beautiful time to bring your optimism and sense of adventure to the table. Plan a fun activity, share an inspiring story, or have those sincere heart-to-heart conversations about future dreams. Your ability to lift spirits and provide a grander perspective, as shown by the King of Wands, strengthens your family's foundation and reminds everyone of the power of joy and unconditional love. So, my dear magnificent Sagittarius, as we bring our journey to a close for today, I want you to take one more deep breath and feel the immense power that is flowing through you. You are harnessing the powerful forces of your life and steering them toward a future of your own design. You are being celebrated, you are being rewarded for your courage, and you are being divinely guided every single step of the way. Trust the journey, trust your vision, and trust that the universe is conspiring in every moment to bring you the freedom, truth, and abundance you so richly deserve. What part of this message resonated most deeply within your adventurous soul? What truth is your heart whispering to you right now? Please share your thoughts and your feelings in the comments below. Your story is a vital and precious part of our collective journey, and by sharing, we empower and uplift one another in the most beautiful ways. Thank you from the very bottom of my heart for being here, for allowing me to be a small part of your incredible path. It is a true and sacred honor. If this reading has brought you a sense of clarity or excitement, please show your support with a like, and be sure that you are subscribed so that we can continue this beautiful journey together. Remember who you are, Sagittarius. You are a force of nature. You are an explorer. You are a visionary. And the very best is without a single doubt still to come. I wish you a day filled with profound, truth-boundless adventure and unconditional, expansive love.